Hi, it's Tina and Tim again, and we're still on the topic of Child Protective Services. And something that comes up, and I think Tim mentioned on the earlier videos, is the fact that children do get removed. And I'm sure there's some sort of legal process that occurs in order for that to happen. Tim, can you tell us what types of, not what types of circumstances, but what type of removals are there to remove children from their home?
So people are always scared when CPS shows up that they're going to take their kids. That very rarely happens that we remove a child on the spot. That's called an emergency removal. That involves the police, that involves us having to get a multitude of paperwork done and a judge issuing a warrant or an order for the removal of that child. And that happens on very serious situations where it's imminent risk to death at that point, right? Whatever situation that child's in, if that child was to remain there, it's imminent risk of bodily harm or danger of death. All right. We'll do an emergency removal. When that emergency removal happens, we have 24 hours in which, or 48 if it's on the weekends, if it happens and I've got to be on court on Monday. We have to be immediately before a judge. We have to present our case as to why it was necessary to wake a judge up on a weekend and get that order, and why it's necessary to keep this child in the care of DSS. Okay, that's one piece. Sometimes an investigation will go along and down the road, mom, dad, grandma, whoever the caregiver, they're just not getting it together with all the services we put in there to keep the child safe. Then we'll petition for removal at that point as well. It's not an emergency, but it's a removal. The other type is where a parent, we will work with them and they will agree to surrender the child on a temporary basis to the custody of the county. And that will allow them to work on the things or the issues that surrounded the need for the child not to be in the home. Because the goal always is to keep the family together. And if a removal does happen, then the number one goal of the department is reunification of the family. And so when we go to the judge, we have to do what's called a permanency hearing, looking at permanent placement of the child so they have a secure home to live in for a longer period of time.
All right. Thanks, Tim. I'm sure a lot of people wanted to know. Okay, until next time, tune in and don't forget, like us on our page as well as subscribe.